Welcome to the Tennis Tuesday tip. My name's Gavin Fowle, LTA accredited tennis coach. My tip today is based around tennis rackets, heading into the summer season where many of you will be playing more, you'll be playing more matches, more tournaments. You might look to upgrade your racket. I would recommend doing so because technology moves on so fast, so every few years you might look to change your racket just to enhance your performance. I'm a Babolat ambassador, so I'm going to show you some Babolat rackets, but all the other manufacturers follow roughly the same guidelines. So normally you'll have a bottom end of the racket range. This is for someone who doesn't play too often. Every now and again you'll be playing, and this will be much cheaper in price. Normally a bottom end racket makes it easier for you to play. It's a bit more forgiving. It'll feel easier to move around, much more maneuverable. Then you'll have your mid-range racket. This is an Evo drive. Mid-range is kind of a good balance between the two. It's easy to use still, but it will give you a little bit more performance. The top of the range, this is someone who's probably going to be playing more than twice a week, playing in regular matches. This is designed, it's actually more difficult to use, believe it or not, but it's designed to enhance your performance. The sweet spot is a bit smaller, but when used properly and going through the strike area nicely, then it will enhance your performance. It's going to give you a bigger hit, it's going to give you more spin. So yeah, if you're someone who's looking for more performance out of your tennis racket and you play more than twice a week, you really want to look to invest in your racket. Get a more expensive racket because it really does pay off. Whereas if you're not looking to play quite as often, middle of the range Evo drive is probably going to suit you. Probably twice a week, less than twice a week you're playing. And if you're barely playing at all, the bottom range one I showed you was the Boost. The next thing that you want to consider when you're buying your tennis racket is the strings that it comes with. So especially if you're a performance tennis player, personally, I would get the racket unstrung. And I would put the strings that I would prefer in there. Everyone's specific, you might want RPM Blast or whatever it is. You can get it unstrung. Some sites will allow you to select a certain string. The reason being is the performance tennis racket, yes, the frame's expensive, but the manufacturer will save money by putting factory strings in there. They're not as good as the strings you might pick yourself. So if you're a really good tennis player, get it unstrung or choose the strings yourself. The next thing is the grip. The grip, you've got to get the grip size right. Most good rackets will have a number on the bottom. This is a grip size 4. But a pretty good way to test your grip very quickly, put your right hand on the racket or your stronger hand on the racket, and there'll be a gap there on the grip. Put this finger in there. If it fits in there nicely, the grip's probably okay. But if you can't fit your finger in there, the grip is too small. It's really important that you get the grip size correct and it feels comfortable for you, because if you don't, it will impact the performance of the racket and you could start to get some injuries because of it. So really check that grip size. The last thing is that the manufacturers are saving money. You will not get a racket bag too often anymore, particularly with performance tennis rackets, because they are anticipating that you will have a racket bag, one of them fancy racket bags to put this in. So you will not get one, weirdly, with a performance racket. Whereas more of a bottom end racket, you'll get one because they're kind of anticipating that you won't have your own racket bag and they'll give you one of these. So lots of things to consider when purchasing your tennis racket. Probably the last thing and really important is the weight of the tennis racket. Again, it's kind of, it's player and individual specific, but the more weight that you can carry, the more impact you're going to have through the strike of the tennis ball. But equally, if it's too heavy, it's going to hurt, it could hurt your arm, and there are many other impacts. So you really got to get the weight correct with your chosen racket. This is a 300. The mid-range one that I showed you there, this is a 285, and this is a 250. So they all vary in weight so much. So it's really worth spending some time investing in your tennis racket because it can really have an impact in your game. Try them out. As I mentioned, I'm a Babolat ambassador. I carry demo rackets around with me, so give me, message me on social media or get in contact with me, and you're more than welcome to try the Babolat range out. But obviously if you're looking at other rackets, that's fair enough, but I don't have demos for them. Hope these tips are of some use to you, and see you all next week.